Ludwig J. Oden was my grandfather, and I want to share a couple stories that I remember about him. When I was younger, growing up, the first things I recall are when I used to go to a bowling league on Saturday morning. My grandfather always used to come to watch me. I think it started at 9 a.m. And he was excited because he enjoyed bowling also, so he thought it was cool that his grandson liked to do something that he thought was fun. So he taught me some tricks of the trade, and he would give me pointers, but I was so hard-headed that during each round, if I was doing good, I knew what was going on. I didn't need any pointers. And if I was doing bad, I would try some of the things that he said, but nothing would work. I was just in a funk. But I remember it was at Palisades Palace down in Wycliffe. Um, and afterwards, I would always beg my mom, "Can I go over to Grandpa's house? I want to go over there." I think I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And she would always oblige. She'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine." So my grandpa would take me over to his place. We would go and grab some Mr. Hero on Vine Street. And it's funny because I don't think Mr. Hero is known for their spaghetti and meatballs or rigatoni and meatballs, but that's the meal that we always got. And I have gone back there recently and had that, and it's not very good. So I don't know if it ever was really good, but we just thought it was the best. And so we would get some Mr. Hero and we would sit down and watch college football all day long. Especially if Notre Dame was on, we would watch Notre Dame. Especially if Ohio State was on, we'd watch Ohio State. And usually Notre Dame would play an earlier game and Ohio State would play a later game, so we'd be able to catch both of them. Um, when it was Ohio State Michigan weekend, I mean, you can guarantee that I was here with Grandpa watching the game. And another fun story, on every New Year's Day, we would have dinner over here at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And I was always beg my mom, "Can I sleep over at Grandpa's?" So we could watch football all night long because on New Year's Day they have all the bowl games. So that was always a great time, just sitting there watching our favorite teams. And then even if it wasn't anybody that we watched on a regular basis, we just loved watching sports together. So, he would bring out the popcorn bowl. He would cut up some cheese that he got from Aleshi's. He would bring out some bread. He would bring out chips, pop. He had it all to spoil us, and especially his first grandson. And so we just had a blast. I remember when I was in Little League, we would play catch together in the backyard, and he taught me how to throw my first curveball, the famous curveball that I used to throw in high school that really gave me a chance to even be a starting pitcher. I never threw very fast, maybe 70 miles an hour, but my curveball was pretty good. So, because of the differentiation between the two pitches and the hard break that I had on the curve, I was able to become a starting varsity pitcher. And it was all because my grandfather taught me how to throw a curveball at a young age, probably too young, where you're not even supposed to throw a curve, when you're in Little League. And so he taught me how to throw it, except he called it an out drop. He said back in his time, that's what they called it, was an out drop. He also tried to teach me how to throw a screwball, which I never quite got the hang of. But we would play catch in the backyard. I would throw a tennis ball against his garage. He would yell at me because I would be knocking the paint off of there. And then after a while, he just allowed it because he knew I wasn't going to stop. Um, we used to play football in the backyard. I would run patterns, and he would just be the all-time quarterback. He'd throw me deep routes, fade routes, crossing patterns, and I would just run around for hours in the backyard. And the backyard's not very big. It is Willowwick House, which is where I'm at right now. So it's funny in thinking back on that I thought the yard was huge and that he was throwing me deep bombs, but it's really only maybe 20 yards at a max. Probably not even. So that was a lot of fun. I remember when he taught me a lesson one time. Um, the kids next door, they got into some trouble sometimes. And so whenever I'd come over to my grandfather's house, I would go and play with them. We'd play sports. And there was a sports card shop up at the end of the street. And they told me, Nick, we got this great plan. We go there all the time and we just steal packs of cards. And I was thinking, so I had like the little devil pop up on the left shoulder and the little angel on the right shoulder. The conscience when it came into play. And I was like, I don't know if I should do that. That's wrong. And they're like, come on, no, we won't get caught. It's no big deal. We do it all the time. So I went to my grandfather. He was inside and they were about to walk up there. I was like, okay, let me go tell him I'm going. So I came in and he said, what's going on? I said, oh, I'm going to go up to the card shop with Jordan and Jared. And he said, oh, okay, do you need any money? And I said, no, I don't need any. And this was when I was, 9 or 10. And I think he had been up there before when he saw them stealing cards because I would always bug him to take me up there and buy me some baseball cards. And so he said, oh, you don't need any money? Okay. Well, you sure you don't? And he just kept asking me, and I said, no, I don't need any. I think I should be okay. And then he said, all right, well, just let me know when you get back what happens. So I walked back outside and I realized that he was on to me because he kept asking a couple times if I was sure if I didn't need any money. So the guys were like, I got back outside and they said, are you ready to go? Come on, we're going up there. And I said, I don't think I'm going to go this time. I'll just catch you guys later. And they're like, all right, that's fine, whatever. We'll see you later. So I came back inside and my grandpa said, how come you didn't go? I thought you said you were going to the card shop. And I said, I decided not to go. And I told him, they told me they were going to go and steal some cards and I didn't want to do that. And he said, I'm very proud of you because I saw them do that before and I knew that's why you didn't need any money. And so he was just going to let me get into trouble on my own and learn a lesson. But instead, just by asking me, I knew that I was doing something wrong and I decided, it wasn't for me to do that. So he taught me a lesson without really having to teach anything.